Hello everyone, welcome to Learn and Grow. So in this video we're gonna discuss about the grid size, grades, all those things. So lastly we have covered the 6 types of bonding process. So today we'll continue with the remaining one. So before getting into the video, I just want to motivate you guys with a small word, that is obstacles are the cost of greatness. Yes, obstacles are the cost of greatness, because without the obstacle in our life we cannot show our excellence, we cannot show our best. So whoever has the obstacles in your life, be happy for that, because that obstacles will make you to become the better version of yourself. Okay, so be motivated and go for the things that you want to achieve in your life, and don't don't think of anything else. Always set a goal in your target, and whatever the obstacles that you comes that obstacle will make sure that you become a better version of you, as well as it will make sure that you become a successor or a great achiever. Okay, so let's get into the video. The first one is the grid size. So what do you mean by grid size? Grid size is nothing but the size of the grid. So it is the small grid size produce better finish, and larger grid size permits larger material removal rate. So harder work material requires smaller grain size to cut effectively. Softer materials requires a larger grid size. Basically the grid size is nothing but the size of the abrasive stone is fixed, right? So that shows. So if the smaller is there, we can use it for the better finish, and the larger one is there to remove excess material. So that's called as grid size. Next one is the grade. What is called grade? The grade of a bond abrasive is measures of its bond strength. So nothing but the grade is nothing but in previous video we have seen that the bond strength, right? So bond is nothing but that is the you see, if I scroll down I can show the meaning for you. So bonds are maybe used with either silicone. Bond is a substance that is employed to hold abrasive grains. So that is the bond. So bond is nothing but it holds the abrasive material. So the grade is also referred to as the hardness of a bonded abrasive. A hard wheel has a strong bond and or a larger amount of bonding materials between the grains that a soft wheel has. Next one, this is a structure of bond. So here you could see the structure of bond is porosity. Structure of bond abrasive is a measure of its porosity. That is nothing but the small holes will be there in the abrasive thing. So that is where this pore, if you see here, I could draw and I can show you. Just a second. See, this is the pores. That will be like a small gaps will be there in the abrasive thing, and this is called the abrasive grains, and this is called the bond material. So basically this bond material will be used to stick the abrasive grains together, because if the bond material is not there, means the small abrasive grains will be separated, and you cannot achieve the exact finish from the material. Specifying of the grind wheel. To maintain uniformity throughout the country in the system of making grinding wheel, the Bureau of Indian Standard has devised a standard system to be followed by all manufacturers. According to the system, the various elements and characteristics of a grinding wheel are represented on all the wheels in a definite sequence as follows. So basically this is the sequence that they follow in all the grinding wheels. So if you see, that is first one will be abrasive, next one will be the grain size, third one will be the grade, next one the structure, and the bond. So this has been implemented by the Bureau of Indian Standards. So they only introduced this thing. Next one, this is an example. So you can see this is an example. So basically if you see this, a grinding wheel carrying the markings of, if you see this marking, this is a marking. So that is 125 into 25 into 32 WA 46L. So basically this is nothing but the markings. So you could see below, that is 125 mm of wheel diameter, 25 mm of thickness of wheel, 32 mm of bore diameter, and W is nothing but the manufacturer prefix to abrasive, it is optional. So basically it is optional, we can neglect if we want. Next one is abrasive. So that's nothing but the abrasive is nothing but the material, abrasive material. So they use here it's the material that they use here, it's abrasive, that is the aluminum oxide. Next one would be the grain size. So if you see, this is the grain size, you can see this abrasive grains, right? So basically they will see this grain size also. Next one would be the grade, medium grade. So here we can see the grade bonded, the grade of sort of the hardness of the, so medium grade will be there, be using it. The next one is the dense structure, vertified bonds. 17, notice the suffix denoting the bond type of the manufacturer. Next one, this is an example of a bond, how they use. So you see the prefix, abrasive type, abrasive grains, grades, structure, bond type, manufacturer records, all those things, and this the manufacturing symbol will be available. And here you could see this abrasive type, so that is aluminum oxide and silicon oxide has been used. And then this is the structure, what is the structure exactly, and what is the abrasive grain type is there mentioned. Everything has been clearly mentioned over here. So this is nothing but the example of the things. So this is the actual sheet. So here it will be like the grading will be done here, like this is the grading, whether it's a medium grade or it's a hard grade or soft grade, like that will be doing that. And you could see the medium grade means this one, soft grade means for A, B, C, till H it is soft grade. After that till it is P is medium grade, and from Q to Z will be the hard grades. So here you could see that the types of, so many wheels will be there. The first one is the straight wheel, second one the recessed wheel, tapered wheel, cupped wheel, whatever, dish wheel, cylinder wheel, cutting wheel, everything is there. So here if you see that this is a bore length, but actually where we have to do the grinding is in the sense we have to do the grinding over here. So this area we have to do the grinding. So basically they will be doing grinding in this area in order to have a better smooth finish. So basically these are the other things where you could see that you can see easily, like where all those things will be happening. The next one would be the major and the inevitable defects in grinding or glazing of grinding wheel. So basically glazing is nothing but a shining thing, all those things will be there happening. The wheel should be nice, right? Glazing. So just a second, I will show you what is glazing. So here you could see the glazing. It is what is process called glazing.
ग्राइंडिंग प्रोसेस में इसके बारे में हम लोग जानेंगे. So let's go. ग्राइंडिंग प्रोसेस जो होता है वो जनरली हम लोग को मटेरियल रिमूवल के काम आता है और सरफेस फिनिश के लिए काम आता है. ओके, सो जो ग्राइंडिंग प्रोसेस में हमारे ग्राइंडिंग व्हील लगे होते हैं, उस ग्राइंडिंग व्हील पे हमारे एब्रेसिव पार्टिकल माउंट रहते हैं जो कि हेल्प करते हैं फॉर द मटेरियल रिमूवल और फॉर द सरफेस फिनिश. ओके, सो इस एब्रेसिव पार्टिकल को अगर हम लोग माइक्रो लेवल पे देखें तो इसमें स्मॉल साइज के ग्रेन्स होते हैं जिसको हम लोग ग्रिट के नाम से भी जानते हैं. ओके, सो ये जो ग्रिट है वो टाइम टू टाइम क्या होती है, ब्लंट हो जाती है, मीन्स एजलेस हो जाती है, जिससे क्या होता है कि ग्राइंडिंग व्हील वर्कपीस पे वर्क करता है बट मटेरियल को रिमूव नहीं करता है. इससे क्या होता है कि ग्राइंडिंग व्हील और वर्क पीस के बीच में रबिंग एक्शन क्रिएट होता है. ओके, सो ये जो फिनोमिना होता है पूरा, उस फिनोमिना को हम लोग क्या कहते हैं, ग्लेजिंग कहते हैं. अगर इसका डेफिनेशन देखें हम लोग, as the wheel loses its sharpness and as the blunt grit comes into contact with the workpiece, it will no longer in the position to remove the material from the workpiece. Okay, it will do only and only rubbing action over the workpiece without removing the material, and this phenomena is called as glazing. So I hope you get something idea what the glazing phenomena is this in the grinding process. Thank you for watching.
So you would have seen the video. So that is nothing but the glazing, because sometimes when we are doing this grinding process, the grinding wheel might worn out and the sharpness in the grinding wheel might go. So in order to regain the sharpness, we do this glazing. So it is a remedy which will be discussed later. After the continuous use, grinding wheel becomes dull or glazed. So that is, the sharpness will be going off. Glazing of the wheel is a condition in which the face or cutting edge acquires a glass-like appearance. So that is the cutting point of the abrasives have become dull and worn down to bond. Glazing makes the grinding face of the wheel smoother, and that stops the process of grinding. So basically, when the worn condition, dull or glazed, happens, so glazing makes the grinding face of the wheel smoother, that stops the process. So here if you see this, because of this dull and glaze, the grinding process might be stopped, because basically in order to have a grinding finished look in any material, in any of the material, we need to have this grinding wheel to be sharpened, and it should be, it should be like a glass like appearance. So basically, if it is not in that condition, what will be happening is that will lead to a stop of the grinding process. Next one is something grinding wheels is left loaded. In this situation, its cutting face is found being adhering with a chip of metal. The opening and the pores of the wheel faces are found filled with workpiece. So basically, as I said, I will show the photo of this. So basically, if you see, these are the pores area, right? So when you take this grinding wheel, let me show you the picture of this grinding wheel. You stay in the line. So if you see here, this is a grinding wheel, right? So if I want to show you closer, if you zoom it, you could see this small pores will be there. Small pores will be there, right? Small pores will be there, right? So in that pores, what it will happen is the materials that we are doing the grinding, right? So that will come and fill in this area. So what it will happen means, so the bonding happening between the bonding process is happening in the grinding wheel will be removed, and it will not have the bonding process because of the materials which has been filled in this pores. So because of that, the grinding wheel might worn out. So that is which is called as the glazing and all things. Okay. So in this situation, it's cutting face, that is what called as a chip of metal, all those things. The opening and pores of the wheel faces are found filled with workpiece material particles, preventing the grinding action. So that will prevent the grinding of action. Because of that, the grinding process will be stopped. Next one is the loading takes place while grinding workpiece of softer materials. That is also one more thing. Next one is the dressing. The remedy of glazing and loading is dressing of grinding wheel. Dressing removes the loading and breaks away the glazed surface so that the sharp and abrasive particles can be formed again. So basically, it is nothing but a simple concept. If suppose we are wounded, if we have injury in our hand, what we will do is we will put some medicine, we will apply some medicine, and we will put the cotton around the thing. Why we are putting that cotton? Because in order to the wounds should be get healed, right? So the same process here also. The remedy of glazing and loading is dressing of grinding. So basically, they will do a wrapping, all those things, and after that, what they will do is they will keep it for some time so that it regains the sharpness, all those things. Dressing removes the loading and breaks away the glazed surface. Let me go and show you the dressing happening in the grinding wheel. So this is a dressing in a grinding wheel. So as I said, example, right? So you can see this video, it will clearly tell you how the dressing happens.
Today we have a grinding wheel. This is a fairly sharp edge on here, but many times they'll get rounded off due to people grinding on the corners. You should never grind on the side of a grinding wheel, although light grinding is okay. This gap in here should always be a 1/16 of an inch for safety, so that when you're grinding on something, let's just say this was a piece of metal, if you were grinding and you got up like this, it would go like that. If you happen to have your fingers here, they're going to go right in the grinding wheel. But anyway, we're talking about truing up wheels today. This is called a dressing tool. One type, there's another type, it's made of an industrial diamond.
This is the dressing tool.
This kind here, there's basically 5 disposable wheels in here that take a while to grind down, and all they do is spin a little bit and literally pound away on this stone. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this works.
See, we have started doing the pressing for the grinding wheel.
That's basically how you use the tool. It doesn't take much off of the stars. Depends on how long you're grinding here. This can be picked up at Harbor Freight. Your wheel's nice and sharp. Readjust your gap here. Make sure it's less than a 1/16 of an inch. You should be good to go. Thank you.
So you could see in this video how they did the dressing for the grinding wheel, because that is a remedial measure in order to get back the grinding wheel to the working process. So dressing removes the loading and breaks away the glazed surface. So basically when you see that the dressing instrument, it basically removes the glazed parts and it sharpens the abrasive particle so that it can be formed again ready for the grinding. Different types of dressing operations are done on the grinding wheel. One of them is the dressing with the help of star dresser. So that is with the star dresser we were seeing. It consists of number of hardened steel wheels with sharpened points on their peripheral. So that is what the star dresser. Next one, the total is held against the face of revolving wheel and moved across the face to dress the whole surface. As I showed in the video, you could easily understand what was the dressing process. Another type of wheel dresser consists of the steel tube filled, so we don't need to see that. That's another type. Okay. Next one is the turing. Turing is a process of restoring the shape of a grinding wheel when it becomes worn and break away at different points. Turing makes the wheel through and concentric with the bores. So we will see the turing process now.
Good morning. I thought I'd do a short video this morning on how
So this is the turing process.
and true up the wheel on your. The first thing you want to do when mounting these is make sure that these flange washers are flat and deburred so that the wheel will sit flat on them. Then what I do is I rotate the wheel by hand and I touch it with a pencil. And you try to find the high point. It should leave a high point at one point. Loosen the nut up, rotate the wheel, lock it back down. You'll probably have to do this several times to get it running pretty close to true. Then it may wobble left or right a little bit. If it wobbles left or right a little bit, you might be able to correct that by putting a little shim on the inside. I usually use tape or paper to just barely shim it up. You don't want to do this very much because tightening the nut down with a big shim in there could actually crack the wheel, and that's not good. I originally bought this little T-shaped diamond hone from Woodcraft, and I thought it was used to true and clean the wheel. So I would set it down here on my guard.
So this is the
turn
tuning.
grinder on, and I'd
We're
touch
going
it
to do
very
the
gently.
tuning process here.
You can see that my guard was broken, and the T-shaped thing is bent. I don't recommend that. What I recommend, if you're going to try using one of these, is to use your tool rest, set it on the tool rest, and then gently move it back and forth to clean it. Now,
So this is the tuning process.
because it's handheld, it'll push it back and forth, and you won't ever get a true running wheel.
So nothing but the tuning is nothing but the process of restoring the shape of the grinding wheel when it becomes worn and breaks. So basically when the sharpness or the things goes, when the shape of the grinding wheel is become different, it is not the correct shape, then they use this tuning process in order to restore the shape.
This little metal piece that's on there, the diamond hone sat in here, and I built sort of a copy, and I put some tuning hone. This would lock it down, turn the hone on, and just barely touch it, so I make a little more adjustment.
So they're moving to and fro, right? Because in order to get the shape correct,
Gradual
even
with this.
so it should touch all the surface. So that is the reason they are doing it in
one
a
or two passes after
correct
you
way.
adjust it right to really make that wheel run true. You'll notice with the wheel running true, there isn't any bounce. The tool just sits on there. That makes it much, much easier to find the bevel so that you're running flat and makes your grinds much simpler.
So that was a truing process. Next one is a selection of grinding wheels. So basically people will select the grinding wheel because different type of grinding wheels are there for different type of materials. So property of the materials to be machined is for example hardness, toughness, strength, quality of the surface finish required. So basically on which quality they required the surface finish. So based on that they will be choosing the different types of grinding wheels. Grinding allowance provided on the workpiece, i.e. the amount of strokes to be removed, dimensional accuracy, method of grinding, whether it is wet or dry. Next one is the rigidity, size and type of machine. Next one is relative size of wheels and the job, type of grindings to be done, which type of grinding they have been doing, hard grinding, soft grinding, medium grinding, that kind of things. Next one is speed and the feed of the wheel. So how much RPM speed is required for this grinding wheel, whether it's good, more RPM or is it lower RPM for the bigger materials, smaller materials. So it depends on the exact user. Okay. So types of grinding machine. Nothing but the grinding machines according to quality to surface finish may be classified as rough, non-precision grinding, precision grinding, rough, non-precision grinding to remove more stock than other grinding. First one is the floor, stand and bench grinding, portable and flexible shaft grinders, swing frame grinders, abrasive belt grinders. So these are the types of grinding machine. Okay, I will show you the pictures of those things. So this is the floor stand and bench grinder. Okay, this is how it looks. So this is the portable and flexible shaft grinders. So basically this is the second type of grinders. You could see the different types of grinders. So this is, you could see this is all the flexible shaft grinders. So this is a swing frame grinder. Okay, this is how the swing frame grinder will look. So this is the abrasive belt grinder. So you could see the belts are here, right? The belts are here, right? The belt. This is how the process will go. So basically this is the abrasive belt grinder. So you could have, from this I think you would have got an idea like how the grinding machine will look, so that I make sure that it will be very helpful for you guys. So first one is a floor stand bench grinder. So used for snagging and offhand grinding of various materials and cutting tool in a tool room, foundries and general repair. So basically this will be available in the foundry labs and the general repair shops. They have this. It carries a horizontal spindle having grinding wheel mounted on both the ends. So basically it has a horizontal, like it will be having like this horizontal shape will be having, and here's where the grinding wheel will be there, right? So basically that is what horizontal thing, the stand has a horizontal spindle will be having, and grinding wheel will be mounted on the both ends. So it can be suitably bolted on a bench at a convenient time. So basically it is flexible, where we can place the grinders wherever we want on a convenient height, because based on the user it is helpful. So next one is the floor or the pedestal grinder. Is nothing but the bench grinder of the above I mounted on the steel stand or pedestal of suitable height. Next one, the horizontal spindle carrying the grinding wheel is normally an extension on both sides of the armature shaft of the motor. These grinders are also be used for polishing by replacing the grinding wheel by polishing Okay, so it can also be replaced with a polishing wheel as well, because some companies, small scale industry, they use this grinding wheel in both use will be there, 2 in 1 like that. One will be at the grinding, next one will be the polishing. So they use it in different ways. So this is the image. So you could see that this is the base. This is the base where it will be mounted vertically, and these are the two grinding wheels. So this is how it looks. This is exact a pedestal grinder. So two grinders, two things will be there, and this is the body, this is the base, everything will be there perfectly. You can see the video. Next, precision grinder, accordingly to the type, surface, generated or work done, they may be classified as cylindrical grinding machine, surface grinding machine, internal grinding machine, tool and cutter grinding machines. Surface grinding machine, nothing but horizontal spindle and reciprocating table will be there. Vertical spindle and reciprocating table will be there. Horizontal spindle and rotary table will be there. Next one, the vertical spindle and the rotary table. So these are the example of the horizontal spindle reciprocating table. So you could see this. Here is nothing but the grinding. This is the grinding wheel, and this is the reciprocating. So it will be going like this. So it will be going like this. It will be going like this. So both ways it will be going. Next one is transfer feed. So this one will be going in this direction, transfer feed. Next one is the down feed. So here it will be going down. Next one is the rotational grinding wheel, transfer feed, reciprocating of a workplace. So you could see this will be going in this direction, the grinding will go in this direction, here it will go in this direction, and here it will go in this direction. So this is also go downwards, this also will go downward. From this video you can see this. Next one is the rotational grinding. So these are the examples of the grinding machine, how it works. Next one is the cylindrical grinders. The workpiece is held on center by a chuck or in a suitable holding fixture, rotating it about its axis and feeding a fast revolving grinding wheel. If the work surface to be grounded is longer than the face width of the grinding wheel, the work is transferred past the wheel or the wheel past of the work. Transferring of the wheel or the work is done either by hydraulic or mechanical power or by hand. Feed is given to the work or the wheel at the end of each transferring movements. So this is a workpiece. You could see here. This is a workpiece. So this work transfer will be going this direction as well as in this direction. Both it will be going, and the wheel feed will be going this direction. This is a grinding wheel. So this is a grinding wheel. This is the workpiece. So this is a workpiece. From this you can see this. This is how the cylindrical grinders will work. In case of width of wheel face is more or equal to the length of work surface to be grounded, the wheel may be fed in with number no transferring moment of it or that of work. This is known as plunge grinding. The simplest and quite commonly used type of grinding wheel is tool post grinder used on lathe. So basically this latch. When wheels of large diameter are used, they can be mounted directly on the motor shaft. For mounting small wheels, an auxiliary shaft is provided, which runs at a relatively much higher speed than the motor. Both external and internal cylindrical grinding can be done on lathe by this equipment. Types of cylindrical grinding: one is plain cylindrical grinding, next one the universal cylindrical grinding, next one is centerless grinders. Centerless grinders. Here the work is supported by combination of grinding wheel, regulating wheel and a work rest blade. So this is basically a combination of three types, that is grinding wheel, regulating wheel and a work rest blade. The relative movement of a workpiece on a two wheel shown in the figure. You see it in the figure. So you can see this. This is the grinding wheel. This is the regulating wheel. This is the work rest table. Okay. This is how it will be looking. So both the things will be running. So it will be doing the grinding process here itself. So in this operation, grinding operation is performed by grinding wheel only while the function of a regulating wheel is to provide the required support to the workpiece while it is pushed by cutting pressure of a grinding wheel. It helps the workpiece to remain in contact with the grinding wheel. At the same time, required support from bottom is provided by work rest. So if you see that, you could see this thing, that is like at the same time required support from bottom is provided by work rest as the workpiece while rotating rests on the blade of the worksheet. The regulating wheel essentially carries rubber bond and helps in rotation of workpiece due to friction. The method used for feeding the work are thorough feed, in feed and end feed. Okay. This is the grinding wheel, how this thing happens. You could see that it helps the workpiece to remain in contact with the grinding wheel. So this is a workpiece, right? So because of this it will help this workpiece to stay in contact with both the grinding wheel and the regulating wheel. Make sure that it sticks in the particular place so that it will not move and grinding can be achieved without any problem. Next one, this is one more drawing, you could see it. Okay. Next one is the thorough feed. The workpiece is supported and revolved as described above, but simultaneously given an axial moment also regulating wheel and guides, so has to pass between wheels. The axis of the regulating the wheel is inclined at 2 to 10 degree with vertical. The amount of stock to be removed determines how many times a workpiece has to pass between the wheels. So this is nothing but the actual feed can be calculated by the formula. S is nothing but pi dn, that is sine alpha. S is nothing but feed in mm per minute, and n is nothing but the revolution per minute. D is nothing but the diameter of the regulating wheel in mm. So angle is nothing, the angle of inclination of the wheel. So this is the formula in order to calculate the actual feed. Okay, so with this I would like to close the video. So the remaining topics would be the surface grinders, reciprocating table type, and things are there. So I will cover the remaining topics in the next video. So make sure this video would be useful for you guys, and please use this lockdown period in a good way, effective way and productive way, and please study for your examinations also, because examinations might come at any point of time. So be ready for everything. So we will see the next topic in the next video. So until that, it is bye from Vimal. Have a great day.